Hey guys, it's Charlie from HotTipsCentral.com and welcome to part 2 of our transitioning to the new Facebook tutorial set. This video is going to focus on the wall because I believe it's got a lot to it and it's worth having another video for. In the old wall that you're used to, this is the layout that you're used to, you would have just like one stream, and one stream of stuff would happen chronologically in order that it happened. So as you go in the future, or as you go up toward the present, more present, it gets up the top. And if you leave something else in the status bar, it would go above the previous one. That principle hasn't changed, except there's a lot more elements to consider now. So here's the new Facebook. We have two column layout, you'll notice right away. And the two columns is read around a timeline. And that's what the center line is right here. And this center line is a period in time. So as you move up, as you move more toward the top, you're getting more toward the present time. And that's why when you leave your status and it says what's on your mind, the status that you leave here at the top is the topmost dot. And as you scroll down, you can see there's these dots on the timeline. And that's kind of helping you to figure out what order these fall in. So for instance, this dot here is below these two dots. So this dot came first, and because this dot comes first in the wall, this status was before this status. That's how that kind of works. So this status here is before this one, but after this one, because the dot is in the middle. Make sense? So don't get intimidated by having two columns and not knowing where what order things are happening, because that's the easiest way to tell. Look at the dots, and that's where it's going to go. The other thing that comes in handy with these dots is that because it's a timeline, and because Facebook's entire method behind this is to kind of allow you to add events to the past to more completely, share your life with your friends, basically, you can actually add events to your wall in the middle of your wall now. You're actually able to do that now. So for instance, I'm going to add an event to my wall. I'm going to come down here to, let's say, 2010. And you can do that with this little area over here. You can click certain times and it will just zoom you right to those times. Pretty cool. So let's take a look here. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to say right about on September 7th, I actually got a new car. So I'm going to make sure on September 7th I got a new car. I don't have to find necessarily the actual period in time, September 7th. I mean, I pretty much did because it's right here. But I don't have to necessarily find it. I can just simply click anywhere on the timeline and watch this. If I click here with this little plus sign on my finger, see where this plus sign is? If I click, it'll create a new dot, and then it'll give you this big thing. And this big thing allows you to basically leave a status like you normally would right there in that period of time. So I'm going to click photo. Nah, let's not do a photo. Let's do something else. I'm going to go ahead and click cancel. And again, I got a little plus sign. I'm going to click. And I'm going to instead do one of these other 5 features. There's work and education, where you could add the fact that you got a job or did some military service. You can say that you got engaged or that you had a child, lost a loved one. You can tell people that you moved or that you had a vehicle. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to say I had a vehicle. There's other things in here too, like you got a license or you learned a language, you broke a bone. You can add all that stuff to the timeline now. You can tell people when that happened, even if you didn't leave the status about it before. Not that you'd want to, but if you do, that's how you'd want to do it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm going to tell people that I got a new car. I'm going to do this by saying add a vehicle. And so it's going to open up this little thing. It says I bought a car. And it says when did you do it. So I'm going to go into this little calendar here. I'm going to scroll to September. I'm going to find the 7th, which is when I bought it. And that's when I did it. I didn't buy it with anybody, but I did buy it in Durand, Michigan. So let's go Durand, Michigan. There we go. Let's change this. Let's actually do this differently. Let's say I bought it from a specific car dealership. So we'll go to location and we'll say Durand, Michigan, right there. Okay, now I'm going to go into graph, and there's graph Durand. Okay, so that's pinpointed it. Now the location is set. Story, I bought my new Mustang. Alright, now I can add a photo to this event. So let's say I want to select a photo that I've already uploaded in the past, because that's the easiest way to do it. And here's my photo album for my new car that I never really added an event for before. I just had photos of it. And let's add this one. And so there's a photo of the car, and I can move this so that it comes in handy. Let's just move it right about. Maybe that's not the whole complete photo, but either way, that'll work. And I'll hit save. And when I hit save, it's going to zoom this event in the middle, right when this date is. So the September 7th. And bam, just like that, I've added an event to my wall. So here I have the normal events, and it scrolls down, and boom, now I have a car. You can do this with any event. You can pop it in there, and people can look in the past, into your past, if they want. Your friends can take a look at old photos, things from way, way before. And, you know, photos that they tagged you in before. You were doing a whole bunch of stuff in the past. You can relive those events in the past. It's really kind of cool. Now, at any point in time, if you want to leave a current status or leave anything that's up to date and current, there's this little bar at the top here now. As you scroll down the page, you'll get this little bar. And as your mouse approaches this plus sign, stuff will come up here. And you can leave a status right here that will go currently or at a specific date that you want it to go current. And so that's kind of cool.